Welcome everyone to Late Night with Bs3. And on tonight's show, we will be reviewing Nas's new album, King's Disease 2. So I'm very excited about tonight's show. I think it's going to be a great show. We have quite a few tracks as well on this album. We got, let me see, exactly 15. But yeah, I'm pretty hyped about tonight's show. I think it was perfect coming out with this album. Definitely right now, I thought was really great timing. Nas is one of the best at what he does. No doubt about that. Some people have him as the absolute best. Some people have him in their top five. Some people have them, in different spots. But Nas is definitely that dude, and he has shown, like, on a variety of his albums, that he can rhyme basically on any beat. Shout out to my man Overton Claiborne. Appreciate all your support, man, on a variety of shows. Make sure to check him out. Talking with OC is the name of his podcast. He said number 7. Are you talking about Story Run? Is that the track you're talking about as far as King's Disease 2? And let me know what you guys are thinking about the album. Give me your thoughts and opinions. I'll definitely put your comments up there as we get into tonight's show. As we're talking, I was going to have a guest on tonight, but he is not able to make it. My man, Chris Hart, we go way back since college, and he's a big Nas fan, so I was going to get him on the show. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it, but there'll be more opportunities because I'm gonna try to do more of these album reviews. This is something that I was kind of wanting to do, just hadn't really necessarily got around to doing it. And OC is talking about 7 of all time when it comes to Nas. And man, like I said, Nas can basically flow over any beat. It does not matter. This is one of these rappers similar to a Jay-Z, where they can just flow over any beat. It doesn't matter what beat it is. And I appreciate you, OC. Appreciate that a lot, man. It doesn't matter what beat it is. It doesn't matter what artist he's if he's featuring on the track or if he's doing the track by himself. It really doesn't matter because Nas is just that dope. You can see the album artwork right behind me. That's the front cover. You see the list of the tracks. So, man, we're going to get, right into this. I'm kind of sharing some things out here so that people that may be interested want to tune in. And also, if you can do me a favor and share the show so that we can get as many people as possible in here and continue to discuss the show and discuss the topic. But man, Nas is just continuing to put out quality work, even being up in age. Nas isn't he's a young cat. And Overton says, "Whose world is this?" Yeah. Nas is king of the fold, man. So this my initial thoughts. First, I'll start off and just say I was extremely excited with this album because King's Disease 1 was already fire. And Hit Boy, we got to put Hit Boy up there in the top producer status. At this point, we got to put this cat up there because what he's done with Nas's albums, these past 2, what he's done throughout multiple different albums, Nas is a guy when it comes to hip hop. Yep, 100%. He 100% is. Shout out to Gene Wilson, Andre Jones, and Philip Williams tuning in, and they hit the like button. Appreciate that. We are right now live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, and we're live on Twitter and Twitch. We've been trying out Twitch these past couple of weeks, and it's been pretty dope to be able to go live on there as well. And yeah, I mean, I was extremely excited about this album because when he basically dropped it and said, "Okay, I'm getting ready to drop King's Disease 2," I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe a couple of weeks, and now it was basically like the next week, and he dropped this album. But yeah, I was excited at first just to hear the news it was dropping. I was very interested to see who was going to be doing the production, what type of features was he going to have, and he came through with another classic. I'll give my out of 5 mics score towards the end, but he came out, he dropped another classic. I'll just say that. And if you haven't heard it already, you got to check it out. Shout out to my man D Great from South Central, podcaster as well. Always doing great music shows. I'm Philly Flexer from Don't Drink, I think it's Drink the Kool-Aid. Yep, definitely. I remember you. Just FYI, me and Archie send love. Yes, definitely, man. Appreciate that. Make sure to check out their podcast, DTKA, Drink the Kool-Aid. It's on Facebook. I'm not sure if they're on YouTube, but they do a great job of their podcasting, and they do gaming as well. So, man, you gotta check out the podcast community. If there's a podcaster that you know, this is a side note I'm about to go into. If there's a podcaster that you know, support that person. Support that person and what they're doing, because that's their passion. That's something that they love doing. And you just never know. It doesn't take a lot to support somebody. It doesn't take a lot to give them a thumbs up on an episode. It doesn't take a lot to just say, hey, I'm listening to your podcast. It doesn't take that much to show some support to a podcaster. So I urge you to do that. I think that would be great. So let's get into the tracks, man. And this is Nas's 14th studio album. It was released on Friday, if you haven't heard it already. His 13th album was King's Disease. This is King's Disease 2. He's got features of Eminem, EPMD, A Boogie with the Hoodie, YG, Lauryn Hill, Charlie Wilson, Blist or Blast, and of course Hit Boy. And I'm gonna get into. We're going down each track. We're gonna talk about every single one. And if you want to chime in, definitely chime in. Give me your thoughts and opinions on how you feel about the album, how you feel about some of the tracks, whatever it may be. Definitely want to get your thoughts and opinions, because this is a interactive show. So if you're tuning in, wherever you're tuning in at, this is interactive. You'll get a shout out. We'll talk about it. I'll put your comment up there. That's something that I always strive to do, is just to show support and get the information and stuff out there. Exactly. Now back to Nas. He says, laugh out loud. That's Phil. All right. So the featured single was Rare. We'll get to that in a minute. But the number one track on the album is The Pressure, which, number one, it was a dope beat. There was no intro, so it wasn't like he had an intro of him talking on it. Nas just went straight right into it. Just to get straight right into it. Forget about forget about the intro. Forget about me doing a lot of talking. Let's get straight into the rhyming. And that's exactly what he did. And Nas will forever be one of my favorite. He's definitely, I would say, definitely in my top 5. And he just continues to do what he does on the mic. So the first track, The Pressure, that was a dope beat. I'll be going through talking about some of the lines on the tracks, just to give you some of my favorite lines that he was spitting on the album. And Hit Boy killed it. Hit Boy killed it again. He produced every single track on the album. Also featured on one of the tracks. But the first one, The Pressure, here's a couple of lines. He said, I'm inspired them like I didn't already. That's a Nas quote off of that track, which I thought was dope, because he has inspired hip hop greatly. Like, nobody should diminish what Nas has done, and you can't diminish what he's done throughout his career in rapping. Also, he says, correctional facility don't do it correctly. If that's not a fact, how many people we've seen go into jail? They say it's to help them be better when they get out, and sometimes they don't end up coming out better. Sometimes it works in people's favor, but there's a lot of people that are pushed into going into jail or that are in this system for a long period of time. I thought that was a great line. Also, the beat was changed up twice. Again, that goes back to Hit Boy. I think one of my favorite producers at this point. You can't hate on this cat because, man, he continues to drop hits. He also did Benny the Butcher's album. I don't know I think he produced every track on that too, which Benny the Butcher's coming out with another album, I believe, this upcoming week. So may possibly do a review on that one if we got any Benny the Butcher fans. But The Pressures kicked it off perfectly. That was a perfect song to kick it off. I was definitely a fan of that one. A lot of these beats were dope and fire, and Nas giving you the lyrics. It really doesn't get any better than that. Like that's a great day right there. That's a great day when you're able to, on Friday, when you're able to ride into work listening to Nas. That was a great Friday morning, for real. To be able to do that driving into work, listen to it on the way home. And then I was thinking like, hey, let me go ahead and do a review. You know, we do reviews of movies on the Forecast, which comes on Mondays. So I was thinking, let's do an album review. And here we are, King's Disease 2. The second track, which was called Death Row East, it had an island type beat. You know, it was an okay beat for me. I don't think it was necessarily great, but it was the rhyming was great as always. Also, let me back up. The Pressure had additional vocals from Don Toliver. He's an artist as well, R&B cat. He did his thing on there as well. So, and that wasn't mentioned in the credits. So I'm gonna give you guys some added tidbits here as we're going throughout this tonight. Give me your thoughts again on what you think. If you haven't heard it already, let me know as well. Hopefully by me talking, this is gonna make you want to go check it out. Shout out to my man Freddie Hall, gave us a thumbs up. Appreciate that. As you're tuning in, if you're wherever you're tuning in at, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. If you're on YouTube, also show support for Bs3 Radio on Cash App, $Bs3 Radio. So the Death Row East, it was Nas pretty much doing what he does best, rhyming, but also telling a little bit of a story. I thought that was another great track, and he kind of dived into a little bit, saying that him and Pac was going to work together back in '96. They actually met in Vegas, so he was telling the real truth about what was going on back in '96 with Pac, and he was planning to connect in Vegas. Obviously, they weren't able to make it happen. Freddie Hall says the album was fire. Definitely, man. I'm gonna give my ranking out of 5 mics at the end. I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna do. I'm still even haven't decided, but I think it's definitely a great album. He also mentioned Pac wasn't set up by a Stretch. So if you remember, back in '96, they went, or I think that was '95 or '96. Pac was at the studio in New York. While he was at that studio, he ended up getting shot. He did survive that shooting, but on this track, Nas says Pac wasn't set up by Stretch. I think that was just definitely a story of that it was Stretch to set him up. Nas said it wasn't. At the end, it has audio from a concert, and it talks about Nas in the Bronx. I believe that was Ed Lover that was talking, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't found who that was exactly. But on that, at the end of that track, basically it's somebody saying the audio from a concert saying not Tupac died, and he was given the time zones, and he was saying he died at this particular time. It was at a concert, and that pretty much ended that track. But Death Row East, also he talked about how he had beef with Suge Knight, and nobody really wanted to or could handle any type of beef with Suge Knight because Suge would would and probably still will today knock you out. That's no confusion there. He if you've seen the NWA movie, then you've seen some scenes with Suge in there that you wouldn't be surprised about, or the Tupac movie. You would definitely see some scenes in there where you know that Suge did not play, and there was that East Coast West Coast beef going on. So it was definitely a track where he was telling the truth, and he was telling people what was going on or what was happening during that time. And I love those types of tracks, because if you can really tell the truth of what was going down during that time, I think that's obviously that nostalgia, but we're still yearning to hear the real truth of what happened, or who did it, or did somebody get who got convicted for it. It seems like nobody ever got convicted for the Tupac or Biggie killing. So, I thought that was great on that track. Going over to track 3, which is called 40 Side, and on the track he's talking about OG talk, and also there's vocals on that track, which is not listed. Now, if you have the actual album, maybe it'll be listed, but there's actually vocals from Future on that track. So, Nas is, not only is he still doing his thing in rap, but he's also getting other people involved. At a certain part in the album, he talks about how he was he normally didn't do features, but now he's starting to embrace doing features and having guys on tracks and being the leader of the even helping out these new school cats. So big shout out to my man Al High on Bs3 Radio. Casual highlight, he gave us a thumbs up. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, he's talking about OG talk, and Hit Boy, who's also produced tracks for Drake. This was a Drake type beat. If y'all know what I'm talking about. When you hear a Drake type beat, you know it's Drake. Like, that's just there's beats that Drake normally get. I believe Hit Boy has done some production, I think, for Drake. I'm gonna look it up here just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure he has. But that just tells you, again, like I said at the beginning of this, that Nas can rhyme on any beat. He is just one of those types of rappers that can rap on any beat. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't matter which one it is. Yeah, he did Trophies. That was one of the tracks that Hit Boy also produced. But yeah, man, Nas can just rhyme on any beat. And it's no surprise. We shouldn't be surprised about that. So Future doing the ad libs on that one. You can see the track list right here behind me. It's available everywhere. So go check it out if you haven't heard it already. And this was a good feel type of song. I was definitely feeling this one. This one definitely was one of those that you could ride to. This is music that you could ride on to on a Friday. I'm telling you, when this album dropped, I listened to it on the way to work and on the way home. I was definitely feeling it. So that was 40 Side. The next track, EPMD 2. So EPMD obviously was on this track. Also, Eminem was on the track. It was another dope beat. This also was a remix of the song on the soundtrack Judas and the Black Messiah, which was a great movie. If you haven't seen that, you gotta go see that movie. That was definitely a movie worth watching. If you haven't seen it yet, I would highly recommend you do that. So that was another dope track that you want to also listen to, and it was a nice one to vibe to. EMPD was on there. Eric Parrish and or Eric Sermon, excuse me, and Parrish Smith. So big shout out to those guys. And this is what Nas did on this album. Not only did he go back and get some of the rappers, the old school rappers, but he also got some new school. He got some A Boogie with the hoodie on there. He got some he had Little Durk on the last album. So I mean, what Nas is able to do is encompass everything in rap. Period. That's what he's able to do. And not only that, he also has Lauryn Hill on this album. You can see, wrong hand. You can see right there. Miss Lauryn Hill was on this album. So if you don't listen to this album for any other reason, for some odd reason, if you don't like Nas, which I don't know what's wrong with you, but you got to listen to that one. Shout out to my man, my boy Chris Hart. He said one word, legend. Definitely. Yeah, that sums it up right there. Wasn't able to make it on the show tonight, but he came in the chat room and definitely put a comment in. We will be working together in the future. He's a hip hop head like myself. He's a fan of great hip hop, so we'll definitely be doing something together in the future. 40 Side, the Goodfield song, EPMD 2, and this was, I believe this was Parrish Smith that said, "Give me that land so I can roam," and that's in reference to 40 acres and a mule. Like, give us that land so we can roam around. And I thought that was a great line on that track. Eminem's verse. Let's talk about Eminem's verse. And yes, both production and features were dope. 100%. 100%. No. When Hit Boy produces something, this dude does not play. This is not a game to him. He's not just producing stuff for fun. When he produces tracks, that's why you have artists like Nas basically getting close to 30 songs produced by Hit Boy. So it's no surprise what he does. The Eminem verse, at first, I didn't like it because it seemed like he was rambling. But when you go back and I listened to it the second time, I was like, okay, it's not, I kind of get what he's doing. It still sounded kind of ramble, especially towards the end of it, but I thought it was a great feature to have on the album. I mean, like when was the last time you had Nas and Eminem on a track together? Is what I'm wondering. It's probably been a minute, I'm sure, but that was definitely a track worth putting together. But yeah, I don't know when the last time they collabed. I thought I read something where it said like 20 years or something, but I don't know if they ever been on a track together at the same time. If I'm wrong, somebody pop in somewhere and let me know. But we are right now live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We are everywhere where you can view a podcast. Jump in the chat room. Let me know how you feel about the album. Let me know if you've heard the album or not. It's definitely worth picking up. And then let's get to the next track, which is Rare, which is the single. Excuse me. He's also got a video for this. This was a dope beat. Had 3 different chains ups in the beat. Again, it goes back to the great production by Hit Boy. 3 completely different beats in one song. Like, who does that? Hit Boy, I guess is all you can say. One of the lines he had on there was, musically, I'm on Mars, walking all over the stars. This album is filled with punchlines, with one-liners, with comedy, it's Nas, man. It's like, that's all you gotta say. Like my man Chris Hart said, legendary. That's it. Also, towards the end of the track, you had Brave Hearts. You had that in the background. So, man, this is just another classic CD for y'all to vibe with, which is also a Nas line. But what he does, man, is it's truly one of a kind. Period. He is not like any other rapper. You cannot compare anybody else to Nas. You can't do it. It wouldn't be fair for you to compare him to anybody else. It's just not fair. Neither is it even doable because nobody matches up. I don't think nobody matches up to Nas at all. All right, so next track, which was called YKTV, which is You Know the Vibe. I can tell that I'm definitely getting older because I had to look up what YKTV means. That's how you know you're getting old when you got to look up abbreviations. That's how you know you're getting up there in age. This was featuring YG, so he went straight to the West Coast. Then he had A Boogie with the Hoodie. A nice feeling beat, nice ride to music. Definitely one of those that you could feel and vibe to. That's what Nas does. He gives you tracks that you can vibe to. All you got to do is press play on that first song, and you can just ride out to the rest of them. Just like King's Disease 1. It's just one of those albums you just press play and you just ride out to every song. And the fact, I was telling my wife this, the fact that he got Foxy Brown out of wherever she was, retirement, I don't know, semi-retirement, got her on the track, got Cormier on the track, also put the firm back together, got AZ. I mean, he's a special guy to be able to do that. And Cormier is definitely that's a dude that has mad rhymes too. If you're not familiar with him, look him up. Definitely in that QB camp, with Mobb Deep, him, and Cormier, Cormega. If you haven't heard of him, go look him up. Check out some of his tracks too. Definitely feeling it. So YKTV, beats you can ride with. A Boogie with the hoodie. Got the young guy on there. Got YG on there. Definitely was a nice feel. The next one was called Store Run, which had a dope sample on it. Again, it goes back to the production of Hit Boy. This one had a dope sample. Also, he was giving a shout out to the dead rappers. Also, this goes to the comedy of Nas. He said, Tiger is happy. Both his parents matter now. Nas stay with the classic one-liners, with the comedy, with the punchlines. It's like he a comedian and a rapper all in one. And if you don't know, Tiger Woods' dad is Black and his mother is, I believe, Chinese. So if you remember what happened in Atlanta and you know the Tiger Woods' dad is Black, that goes to that line, which I thought was a great line right there. Really a great sample. And so when it comes down to Hit Boy, not only can he produce just straight beats with no samples, but he can add the samples in too. So I know I'm bragging on Hit Boy, but I'm telling you, man, I've listened to 3 straight albums of his production, and he is solid every single time. This dude is solid every single time you hear him producing an album. It is solid. There's no tracks where you're like, why did he make that beat? Or that beat didn't sound good. Or he could have threw that beat away. None of them sound like that. And that just tells you the quality of producer that this guy is. Next one was Moments. That's the next track, Moments, which I'm going to slide right here. You can see the tracks right there. Moments, another dope sample, talking about embracing. On this track, he talked about embracing features. I'm assuming him featuring on other people's tracks, which you have seen more of that from Nas, but also him having more features. And on these last 2 albums, he's basically just covered a wide variety of features. Got Charlie Wilson on this one, just like he did on King's Disease 1. But he talks about moments that you can't relive, riding a bike, still being a virgin, that first kiss, that having a baby. I mean, like, he talks about those moments that you can't relive, which is some of the greatness of what Nas does. He brings in all people. It doesn't matter who you are, really. It really doesn't matter. You can listen to a Nas album and it doesn't matter who you are. You should be able to vibe to it and relate to it. You should be able to. If you're tuning in on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. Also share the show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate the support. Also, we will have the Bs3 Radio Awards coming up on August the 30th, which will be Monday at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. We'll be giving out great awards to the Bs3 Radio hosts. Also, we have a special award to the Supporter of the Year, which is an award that we give out every single year. We've been around for 2 years, but we give this award out to the biggest supporter of Bs3 Radio. And I have a special person that I'm going to give this to. This guy's been extremely supportive on every single show that goes live. And I want to definitely show my appreciation to that person. So make sure to tune in. It'll be live on Facebook, facebook.com/Bs3 Radio. So you can tune in and join in on the show. It's going to be a good one. So make sure to tune in, as we will be giving out multiple awards on that night. We should have a large majority of the shows there, and they will be jumping on and giving their thoughts and opinions on this past year, and just really sharing, giving their acceptance speeches. So it's gonna be real fun. So make sure to tune in to that. Coming up August the 30th. All right, doing some other shares to get the show out there. So back to the track Moments, which was, like I said, another great sample. He also talked about his brother. He talked about Muhammad Ali, and he talked about how his brother met Muhammad Ali, and he said, Champ said, "Nothing is real." That was a line from Nas talking about his brother. And that is 100% correct, man. Nothing that we experience or see on this earth is real. That's true. Money, when you die, you can't take any money with you. You can't take your house with you. You can't take your books with you. You can't take anything with you. So this is all temporary. This whole entire life that we are walking on this earth is temporary. And I thought that was a great line. Now let's get to Miss Lauryn Hill gracing us with her presence on track number 9. It's called Nobody. And it was a smooth jazz type of beat. I was feeling it 100%. I had to listen to it twice. When was the last time we heard Lauryn Hill on a track? I really can't remember. Honestly, I can't. Now, maybe it was something sooner than what I think. But the last time I remember hearing Lauryn Hill's voice was on that track with Drake. Well, basically, it was a sample of her voice, but it wasn't her. And could this possibly be Lauryn Hill coming out with something? Could it possibly be? She's also, from what I'm hearing, has got a track with Mariah Carey called Save the Day. This is on, looks like Mariah Carey's latest album. So is she inching towards dropping something new? Boy, oh boy. I sure hope so, because her flowing on this album, really, that was probably one of the most exciting things that I was looking forward to, was hearing Lauryn Hill getting back on the track. Now, if we can only get the Fugees somehow back together, to even if they just do an EP, that's all I need. That's all we need. We don't need a full-length album. We don't need 15 tracks. We just need an EP to get us through the summer, the winter, whatever holiday it is. That's all we need. We're not asking for much. Now, it may be much for them because I don't know how well they get along anymore. But the game needs it, okay? The rap game needs a Fuji album. It needs a Lauryn Hill album, if at all possible. Miss Lauryn Hill, that would be awesome if you could do that for us. I would, me and everyone else, I speak for everyone, that we would greatly appreciate that. So, the track is called Nobody. Great to hear Lauryn Hill, like I said. She has some great one-liners on here. She said, "My awareness is like Keanu in the Matrix." That was a dope line. And then she said, "I'm saving souls and y'all complaining about my lateness." I'm gonna say we all know, because I know. But we hear often that she's being late to shows or late to concert venues or whatever it may be. And she said, "I'm out here saving souls and y'all complaining about my lateness." That was definitely a jab at what she's heard people comment about. She's heard it. She's human. I'm sure she's aware of what people may or may not be saying. But I thought that was a great line. I'll definitely listen to that track twice. And this goes back to kind of how me and my college roommate and one of my best friends, Chris Hart, he's in the comments. This is how we listen to albums. You listen to it the first time as you just riding to it. Then you go back and listen to it the second time and see the intricate parts of it, which parts you liked, which parts you didn't like, which parts of the album you want to listen to again, which parts you don't want to listen to it again. I mean, this really was one of those albums that I was definitely, number one, was definitely feeling it from beginning to end. But I can listen to this all the time. Like, I still listen to King's Disease 1. So again, Nas just doing what he does best, and that's killing the rap game. He's doing what he does best. So it was great to hear Lauryn Hill. If you don't like Nas at all, that's fine, but you need to listen to that track. Okay, you need to. That's your homework assignment till the next time I do a show. Excuse me. You need to listen to that track, because that is 100% worth it. All right, the next one, which was track number 10, No Phony Love, Charlie Wilson. He had Charlie Wilson on a King's Disease 1, which I believe was, I think that was Blue Benz that he was on. And man, Charlie Wilson has been around for so long. This dude has been around for a long time, and he continues to be relevant. That is he was actually on Car 85 on King's Disease 1 or King's Disease. But yeah, he's one of those guys that's still relevant despite being however old he is. Let me look up the exact age. He is 68. He is still relevant. And I think that is a true artist right there. Nas is 47. But that's a true artist right there. When you can not only can you be relevant, but you can relate to any type of artist. You can be on a Snoop album, you can be on a Nas album, you can do your own album, you can be on a straight R&B, and that's Charlie Wilson does his thing. So No Phony Love had a great intro to that song, which was an old school kind of 90s, 80s, 90s vibe. Definitely was feeling that at the jump. Gotta love the rap love song, what I put down in my notes. You gotta love that rap love song. It gives you a feel of a rapper telling a love song. That's exactly what it was. And Charlie Wilson with his patented ooh-wee does that every single track. You know he's gonna do the ooh-wee. And you know he's gonna do one of them long runs. That's Charlie. That's Uncle Charlie. And whenever he gets on a track, you know you're gonna hear one of those two things. And he definitely did it on this one. But I thought it was great to see how Nas had him on both of these albums. The only guy besides Hit Boy that was on both albums, King's Disease 1 and 2. So shout out to Charlie Wilson. The next one, which is a great vibe 2 track, is called Brunch on Sundays, and it's featuring, I believe his name is pronounced Blast. I never heard of him, so was definitely doing some research on him. Nice vibing beat, and it's perfect for Sundays. That's a perfect track you listen to tomorrow as you're either driving or you're riding home from church or something, or you're going on a date with your wife or your significant other. That's a perfect type of song for that. He said to make it Sunday to Sunday is deep. And that's right, man. You don't know how much people experience in their day-to-day lives to make it to a Sunday, or make it, like he said, from Sunday to Sunday. Not everybody does. Especially with COVID continuing to go on, this Delta variant continuing to spread, you may not make it. So that was a great line on that one. And I'm probably gonna play it tomorrow. Tomorrow Sunday, I'm probably gonna play that song tomorrow just because it's called Brunch on Sundays. And me and my wife may have brunch and play that song, okay? Because it's 100% worth it. Count Me In, which was another dope beat. It was kind of like a banging on the table type of beat. It was another classic flow, another great flow from Nas. And track number 13, which you got 15 tracks. Let me slide again. You can see all the tracks right there. This one was called Composure, and it had Hit Boy on it, as well as uncredited vocals by a gentleman named Shaka Singor, which this dude was dropping serious knowledge on that. I don't know if it was a poem or what it was exactly, but it was a great addition to that track. As you're listening to it, you're wondering, who is this at the end? And if there's people like me, when you hear something, you want to know who was it, who produced it, who was involved with it. Like, that's stuff that I want to know. I consider myself I don't know if I'm gonna say a hip hop historian, but I would definitely say when I hear hip hop, when I hear an album, I'm gonna probably do some type of research on it. I'm probably gonna go in and try to see who did the production, who had additional vocals. So I'm a hip hop head. I'll say that. So Composure, which has some crazy horns on that track, man. The straight opening of the track had some great horns on there. Hit Boy has some great one-liners on there. He said, "Y'all be too proud to do the devil's work." Like, wow, that kind of hit me. Like, we get too excited about gossip. We get too excited about stuff that don't matter. We get too excited about drama. And that's what I'm getting from what he was saying. Y'all be too proud to do the devil's work. That was a line by Hit Boy. Hit Boy can flow. I did not know that. I knew he had some tracks, or knew he had a couple albums on his own. But what I did not know is this dude could definitely flow, and he was going bar for bar with Nas on this one. But that was a great track as well. It was called Composure. The next one was called track number 14, My Bible. And he kind of broke this track down into 3 chapters as he was going through and rhyming. This was another dope beat. There was really only one beat that I thought was so-so, and that was Death Row East. But the lyrics made up for me not being a huge fan of the beat. So that was the only one that I didn't necessarily, that I wasn't, wouldn't listen to multiple times. Also, man, on this track, My Bible, he had some he had the organ on there in the background. That was filtered into the beat. He also had some dope drums in there. He, like I said, he broke it down into 3 chapters. I'm not gonna tell you what those are because you got to go listen to it. Also, he had a line called "Spiritual Like a Deep Cut" from Shirley Caesar. Fire. Straight fire. No other way to put it. The last track on the album was Nas Is Good. Another dope sample. Change up on the beat. I just said, oh my God, man. Hit Boy is he's got to be producer of this year and last year. Just give him both. I don't know what else he has, what else he's gonna be producing for this year coming up, but I do know this dude can definitely run with the best of them. And I'm not gonna say he's my all-time favorite, but he is becoming one of my favorites right now. And I'm sure a lot of other people can say that too. But just his production is just out of this world, man. And he can do it with any type of rapper. But when you produce an entire album, no, hold on, back up. If you're producing 2 complete albums for the legend Nas, like this, it really doesn't get any better than that. And you were featured on one of them where you killed your flow too. Like it don't get no better than that. So Nas Is Good was the last track. 15 tracks on this album. I was definitely feeling every last one of them. And I would say my 2, I was trying to narrow it down to one track that was my favorite, but I got 2. One of them was Rare, which that's the lead single on here. That's the first single. I'm sure he's probably gonna have more. The other one was, I think, where did I go? I went with Nobody with Lauryn Hill, because hearing Lauryn Hill on the track, I had to put that in my favorite. Also, My Bible was a good one, and Composure was also a good one. Shout out to Courtney Harden. Thank you for tuning in. Host of The Real Deal with Courtney Harden. Make sure to check out the podcast on bs3radio.com. Go to the website, check it out. Blow up the website. We have great content there. This YouTube video will be there after the show's over, as well as all of the great shows. I mentioned Al High, Courtney Harden. And if you're interested in joining BS3 Radio, reach out to me, BS3 Radio, all avenues of social media. Also, bs3sports@outlook.com is the email. Hit me up. Let's chat. Let's talk about it. But Nas with another classic. So this gets to the show where I'll give my rating as far as mics. We do it the Source way here. And I'm definitely going to do this again. I don't know what album I'm going to do it with, but I'm definitely going to do this again. I'm a big fan of reviewing things, food, albums, movies. Nas with another great album. So I'm going to give it 5 mics. I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 mics, man. I think it had every feel that you wanted. It had the just straight rapping, had the music feel, had the Make One for the Ladies, had one with the young cats on there, went in the old school with the EPMD. And the fact that he got Lauryn Hill featured on the track, man. I don't know what he told her. Nas must have one of the best mouthpieces in the world. But to get her out of retirement to come on the track, to do the same thing the last album he did with Foxy Brown. When I heard Foxy Brown on that, I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I got to turn this off and take a break. Cormiega as well. I know they had a falling out back in the day. But this shows your maturity. That is what this shows. That is what this is showing. When you're able to get people on your album that either maybe you had a disagreement with, maybe you're not the biggest fan of, maybe you weren't seeing eye to eye at one point, that shows maturity right there. And that's what we're seeing from Nas. And he's 47. So this is what you should expect. And like he said, if you want to hear another one-liner, if you want to hear the old Nas, play the old Clue tapes. Like I'm not gonna be the old Nas anymore. Like that's dead and gone. I'm older. I'm more mature. I got my own label. He must have something with a movie because he was bringing that up. But you know, this was another classic. Last time Nas and Lauryn Hill on an album, it was If I Were the World. Yeah, If I Ruled the World, Nas' second album. Yeah, that was the last time. And man, whew. So it was 100% worth it. Apple Music is one of the greatest things made on the planet, okay? The fact that you can listen to whatever album you want, you pay what, $10 a month, $5.99 a month, whatever it may be. If you don't have a plan like that, you have to get one, because I heard this album the day it came out. I'm not going to the store to buy any more albums, probably. Now, I may try to get this on vinyl, because I think this would be something nice to have. But Nas did it again. King's Disease to 5 mics. It's not only fair, but it was well worth it. Nas continues to show why he is one of the greatest in my top 5 MCs of all time. He's mine too. He's definitely mine too. So all of you tuning in, give me your last thoughts on the album. What would you give it? 5 mics? Would you give it out of 5 mics? What would you rank it? Thank you, all those, for tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We are literally everywhere. At this point, you can turn on the TV and watch on YouTube at this point, anywhere. What's your top 5 MCs of all time? That's a great question. That is a great question. So I would say number 1, Biggie. Number 2, Tupac. Number 3, Nas. Number 4, Jay-Z. And number 5, I'm gonna go a little old school. I think I'm gonna go with Rakim. Now I don't know a lot about that era, so Rakim, LL, KRS-One. I don't know a lot about them, because I didn't grow up in that era. But I think Rakim's got to be in the top 5. Courtney says Jay-Z, KRS-One, Rakim, Nas, and Biggie. Okay. Nice list. Nice list right there. But yeah, man, it's hip hop is in good hands. You got some good rappers, and look, I can't deal with a lot of the newer rap, but that's for somebody else. It's just not for me. That's probably for the younger generation. But again, like I said a little bit earlier, what Nas is doing is helping to bridge that gap. With A Boogie with the hoodie on this track, with the guy Blast, I think he's a newer artist. He's kind of able to bring it together. If Nas asked you to be on his album, I'm sure you would run and be on this album. On King's Disease 1, he had Big Sean on there, Anderson .Paak, All Bad. That's another good track. Brucey B. That's one of my favorite tracks on that one. I think my favorite one on King's Disease 1 was Full Circle. Just hearing Foxy on the track, man, this was pure greatness. Now, which one do I like better between these two? Between 1 and 2, I would have to actually go with 1. King's Disease 1. Just there was a lot of tracks on there that I felt I like both. I'm gonna ride to and listen to both. The Lock showed up that hip hop is still fire on the verses, especially Jadakiss. Yeah, I read this message that Jadakiss, his streaming went 200%. It increased 200% since that verses. So that was a money-making move for him. The Locks, obviously Styles P can rhyme on his own. He just came out with a new one. Also, Sheik can pretty much rhyme on his own. I wouldn't put him at the same level. And as I'm kind of rounding out the show, we got about 5 minutes or so left. If you guys want to see more album reviews, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, a yes, a no, or maybe. Because I'm definitely down to do this some more. Shout out to that's my cousin there. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, man, Jadakiss basically murdered the entire Dipset. And I'm a Dipset fan, okay? Dipset Anthem, I still ride to that to this day. That first Diplomats album, I definitely ride to this. And I thought Dipset had more anthem music, but they really didn't. And Jadakiss wasn't playing. This wasn't a let's make this a fun little thing. Nah, he came in and slayed every last one of them. Cameron was really probably the only one that could hang. Expecting a little bit more from Jewels. Jimmy's a hype man / rapper. Okay, you can't put Jimmy up there. Sorry, can't do it. Locks had way too much for Dipset. They were more prepared. Yeah, there was a funny comment where it said, to basically sum up that versus, the Locks was prepared, Dipset wasn't. Jadakiss came to rap, Dipset didn't. Like they thought this was gonna be fun and games. And Jadakiss was like, nah, it's not fun and games. And his streaming went up 200%. That's how you capitalize on a moment right there. That's how you capitalize on a moment. And that's exactly what he did. So I wanted to say this. Me and my cousin, Tracy Killian, he was on a past show. We will be working together very closely. He'll be coming on one show a month. He's a stylist. He has a website, Tracy Killian Styling. And he will be styling yours truly once a month on the show. So you're going to have different fits. You're going to have different, and then be on the lookout for the award show coming up, like I said, Monday, August the 30th, 8 p.m. Central. It's on the Bs3 Radio Facebook page. And be on the lookout. We got something special. Got something special cooking up for that. But he will be styling me once a month on the show. So King's Disease 2 definitely lived up to it. Side note, Kanye, I don't think he's finished Donda yet. Donda. I'm sure I'm probably saying that name wrong, but named after his mother. He just got the locks on the album, so I don't know if he's done or not. I do know it's about 20. I think it's 20 tracks, and he's locked in the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Atlanta. But when he finishes this, I think it's definitely going to be worth it. So, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Late Night with BS3. King's Disease 2 review. Also, coming up, I'll be having a special interview with an artist as well. His name is Strike Boogie. He's out of Canada. He's got a new single that he's got out. And we'll be having him come on the show this upcoming week. So be on the lookout for that. Also, check out all the shows on bs3radio.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms, BS3 Radio. And Courtney says, we need a Kanye Pharrell versus. That would not be bad. Now, I don't know, though, because I guess this would be a beat battle because Kanye's got way more bars than Pharrell. Pharrell is ladies' music for me. But if that's definitely a beat versus, I'm all in for that because they could definitely go head to head. So I'm all in. No rapping though. Producer battle. Thank you. Yes, 100%. I'm all in. I think that would be pure greatness right there. Now, I don't know I don't know if they've announced the next verses. Let me look that up real quick before we get out of here, because they've been doing a good job, man, putting these verses together. This all started over the pandemic, and this thing just grew out of this world. So I don't think they've announced the next one yet. But this one, last one with the Locks and Dipset, definitely was pure comedy, enjoyment, brightened up your day, gave people some stuff to watch and listen to, and a lot of social media love and hate for that one. So I will be back on Monday with the forecast. We'll be reviewing Who Shot Malcolm X. It is on Netflix, so make sure, or Who Killed Malcolm X. It's on Netflix. I believe it's a 6-part documentary. And this is what we do best. This is what we do best, man. We dissect and review movies, documentaries like you've never heard before. You will get pure comedy. You will get some education, and we will break things down. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Overton Claiborne, the great Philly Flexer, thank you for tuning in. Freddie Hall, Chris Hart, Courtney Harden, Tracy Killian. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll be back on Monday. Peace.